is Mike Wallace, who's our guest of honor today at Save the Bay's party at the Pell estate. Mr. Wallace is well known to audiences worldwide as a watchdog of the public interest, and Save the Bay is a regional watchdog. Our concern is the bay, preserving the bay, the water quality, and also the public's rights to enjoy the bay. Mike, why did you agree to come and give your support to Save the Bay?
Because Walter Cronkite was not available. Walter comes here, no, I'm quite serious. Walter comes here usually, and Walter is a fanatic about this. He's a sailor, and he understands it. He's got it in his heart. I'm a reporter, and I care about water, but I didn't know as much as I should. And because the Pells are family, my stepson is married to Dallas Pell. So when they asked us, Mary and me, my wife, to come over here and do it, I said, okay. And I began to study. And I got all kinds of information sent to me, and finally began to... I feel like a laggard that I hadn't fully understood it ahead of time, but I finally began to understand the dimensions of what needs to be done about the water. And said, okay, if you don't mind getting an apprentice in the subject, I'll come over.
Well, to some degree, we're all apprentices at environmental protection. This is a topic that really did not get a lot of attention for 20 years. For much of the time, I think many of us...
Now, you're talking water now, or you're talking the environment in general?
Well, I think in both ways. The impact of what we do on the land, I don't think there was a clear understanding of how interrelated our actions were to water quality and ultimately to the environment.
Well, of course, Rachel Carson was the one that started it in a strange way. And following that, over a period of time, a lot of us spent a little time with it. But then I seriously go back to Cronkite. Cronkite decided that was going to be an issue with him. And on his evening news, he was the only one that regularly paid considerable attention to it. And it's a grassroots revolution in America, it seems to me. The people have demanded, finally, that we take care of our environment. And of course, here in New England, I come from outside of Boston, Brookline, and have spent my summers up and down this coast for such a long time, and we are blessed to have Maine and Massachusetts and Rhode Island, and so if you can do, any one of us who can do anything to help.
Well, the good news is that we haven't lost the land, and that's really, I think, the clarion call of Save the Bay. Not that we have to repair as much damage as we do to prevent further damage from being done, and also to celebrate, in fact, the environment and the joys of the environment, and particularly in this case, Narragansett Bay.
Well, this is such a beautiful bay. I hadn't understood how all the water fed into the bay until I began to read. Kurt Spaulding and Ann Garnett and Sandra Whitehouse sent over some stuff, and so I began to understand a little. The fact remains that in tough economic times, the polluters don't want to spend the money sometimes to clean what they produce before they let it loose in the bay. And that's one of the things that we as citizens have to watch. And that's why these baykeeper boats that you people are apparently sending out, such a good idea. I mean, we've got to police ourselves.
Yeah, it's very similar to the Pogo cartoon. We've met the enemy, and he is us. Hopefully, though, our message will be not that we're enemies, but that we're friends. While we have the power to harm, we also have the power to heal. And I think that has become our message at Save the Bay, that the power that we have can be used for positive good of Narragansett Bay and of the region.
You're absolutely right, Fred. The astonishing thing, in a strange way, though, is that this is really a grassroots revolution here in Rhode Island, in Connecticut. You know, over in the vineyard, where I spend my summers, the water has never been clearer than I remember it in 20 years. I was listening to the radio the other day, and Jim Florio, the governor of New Jersey, was saying, it's getting better down here. Now, of course, New Jersey went through a heck of a time just a few years back. What's the state of Narragansett Bay today?
The state of Narragansett Bay, we've corrected some of the gross pollution problems that occurred up in the upper bay, sewage treatment plants that were breaking down, gross pollution from industry. Now, though, what we're finding is that as people are enjoying the bay more, as they're moving lower on the bay to areas that were previously just summer communities, the pressure on the resource is enormous. And the pollution that we're looking at now is generated by how we use the land, the development of the land. Septic systems that were built for use at only 2 months of the year are now being used for 12, and roads, areas that were once pristine forests, now have roads on them, and when it rains, those roads become, in essence, rivers of pollution. It takes the poetry out of rain somewhat to think about what stormwater does to the bay. At the same time, it's an education in terms of how we need to develop the land in order to protect the water.
This is your life.
Yes, it is. This is what I do for a living, and it's a joy for me because I grew up in Narragansett Bay. I'm a native Rhode Islander. I went to the university at Brown in Providence, and except for 1 or 2 years away, I've spent my whole life here. Although I do go over to Martha's Vineyard on a regular basis, and was snorkeling over there just 3 or 4 weeks ago, as a matter of fact.
How is the snorkeling in the vineyard?
It's terrific. I like on Cow Bay particularly. It's nice. This area right here has some terrific diving. To me, one of the real joys of working on this job is the fact that I spend most of my time in, on, or under the water in Narragansett Bay and other parts of the country and on islands as well. And to me, to bring that same love of the environment to environmental protection and then couple that with the message that we need to protect it, the serious message, I think, is the wave of the future for environmental protection.
Water. I grew up hearing that music was a universal language. Water is a universal language. The globe. We need it. We thirst for it. We use it. We share it. And we are damn fools if we don't take care of it. It belongs to all of us, not in Narragansett Bay or Vineyard Sound or Nantucket. The globe. And we simply have to take care of it or we're going to lose it.
Well, that's the message that I think if all of us took it to heart, that it is our water and that it is a precious resource. We're made up of it. 98% of our own bodies are made up of the water. That sense of being in, on, under, and of it is really the motive force behind what we're doing.
I thank you for letting me sub for Walter here tonight.
Thank you very much, Mike. Thank you.